Welcome back to Blacksheep Barbell Podcast. Today we have Tank Lunsford on the show. He's a powerlifter and Olympic weightlifter, and he also coaches for both of those.
Yeah, we saw Tank squatting some crazy weight at SummerStrong.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool talking to him. Obviously, big fans of strength training, and I know he's going to have a lot of good information, and it's going to be cool hearing how he started.
Yeah, so welcome to the show, Tank.
Are you from South Carolina or somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh, you're from
I'm
South Carolina?
Spartanburg,
Cool.
South Carolina. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know when we were down at SummerStrong, that was our first time being there. It was something we wanted to do for years, man, and we saw you put up that crazy squat.
I had only been to one before that, and it was I think I got third in the squat competition.
Really?
I even did more then than what I did this past time.
What did you do the first time?
I think it was 721, but they were using the big old plates that they were deep dish, but they were over there in their museum area where it's the barbell's going through the person like this.
Yeah.
And so we weighed them after, and it turned out it weighed more than what we thought it was. Previously, before that, my best squat was 633 before that, when I was 19. And I hit that, and I was like,
really?
So I'm a firm believer that if you don't know what the weight is on the bar, you're probably still going to move it a little bit better.
Yeah.
It was 650.
He did that to me one time when I first started working out. I was trying to hit I think it was it 305? It was supposed to be on a deadlift, super light.
Yeah, it might have been 295. He was going for a deadlift PR. He was just getting into deadlifts. This was maybe 4 years ago. And I think he thought it was 295, something like that. But I when he wasn't looking, I added weight and it was 315. Yeah. and I'm like, it's 2 something, man. I'm like, you're fine. And he got it. And I was like, hey, that was 315, 3 plates. He's like, no way.
Yeah. I used to do that with a lot of my athletes. So
do you coach people?
Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. How long you been doing that?
Well, about 4 years now.
Awesome.
Nice.
There's a powerlifting. So Travis Mash, a Mash Elite, that's my coach. While he was coaching at Lenore Ryan, I was doing Olympic weightlifting under him. Mm-hmm. And so, we won 2 national championships as a team there. We beat out Lindenwood and them. I think Northern Michigan was still a team then for Olympic weightlifting. I don't think it's a weightlifting team anymore.
I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah, I think they were with Team USA, they were ran by Team USA for weightlifting, and I think they cut the funding on them. And then after that, it was but we won 2 national championships there, and then I was like, I like squat, bench, and deadlift, Travis. He goes, well, we'll just do powerlifting. He's like, you get whoever you want, and we'll run a team. And so for the longest time, we ran a powerlifting team out of there.
So did you start off Olympic lifting?
Yeah. Well, before that, I was really a football player, just strength and conditioning. And then Travis was I had a 550 or 585 squat out of high school. I think it was 325 on bench press, and I could pull 550 on deadlift.
Wow.
So my baseline deadlift never really changed. Mm-hmm. Then Travis just turned me into what I am now. So
that's crazy, man. That's some insane numbers, being so young as well. I mean, wow. Elite level at such a young age. That's crazy.
Well, see, and I wish I would have done powerlifting that early, because I would have. I think I would have probably dominated a little bit more than what I do now. I would have thought,
hearing those numbers. Have you always, it's funny with some people, when you first got into the gym, was it do you think you were just naturally strong? Were you always able to push some weight?
Yeah, so in 7th grade, they had it, they introduced us to squat. Mm-hmm. And originally we weren't supposed to do more than a 45. Mm-hmm. The coaches just let me keep on putting weight on. I had 315 on the bar.
Oh,
my God. In
7th grade.
In 7th grade. And so I didn't really realize it was that big of a deal. And the coach was all right, after that, we're cutting you off. And I was like, why not? And they're like, we're just worried you're going to do more than,
Yeah, that's wild. So. I think of myself back in 7th grade. I was just a frail little kid, man. I was probably 135 squat.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't know what it was. They were I was sneaking weight on. They didn't really want us to go heavy. And one of the coaches, his name's Coach Anderson. He's at Dorman High School in Spartanburg.
Yeah.
That's who really taught me my squat form. Mm-hmm. And it was we were just going through athletic position and stuff like that. And so then once we eventually got to squat, it was just solid. and it's just like straight down, straight back up. And like
Yeah.
I always give him like the credit for teaching me the form. And then anything once I got to Lenore Ryan's, obviously Travis, but it wasn't really that much form to really tweak. Travis taught me low bar, which obviously is more my powerhouse now, but
Yeah.
they taught me high bar, and it was really over for everybody after that.
Travis was squatting at SummerStrong as well.
Yeah,
And he said that was his first.
Replaced.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Was that? He said something like that was his first time back squatting in a while.
So he squatted, I think, 2 weeks after hip surgery.
Oh my gosh!
And I think the most. Shit. I don't remember what he had on there. I was in there though. And he's like, spot me in case something goes wrong. I'm like, okay. And he was just doing box squats.
Yeah.
And that's the heaviest he had gone I had ever seen him squat, because he wasn't even squatting whenever I was at Lenore Ryan. He did front squats, but he wasn't doing back squats. That was my first time getting to see him back squat.
Wow.
So it was really neat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's some West Side stuff. Right after the surgery, you're maxing out.
I know, it's like you're maxing out. But dude, like when we were at SummerStrong and we were watching you squat, and that's honestly the first time we've seen somebody in person squat that much weight. Because we've always seen these videos and everything. We've never really been to like a competition like that. So even just seeing you do that, dude, that was like something special for us. Like that was amazing.
It was really fun for me, because like the Carson Newman powerlifting guys were like the coaches and all the strength staff, and I was like, I'm about to show y'all what y'all are paying for.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And I was like, that was my first. I had torn my quad 3 months prior.
Wow.
Jeez.
And then did bench press nationals, won bench press nationals, and 2 weeks after that tore my pec. So it was like roughly 2.5 weeks after, or 2.5 months after tearing my pec. And that was my first time squatting. So it was like not only Travis's first time going heavy, it was mine.
Oh my
God. And everyone was like, what are you going to squat? And I'm like, I'm going to fill it out, maybe 600. And just if I get a crowd, I'll, I don't mind putting on a show.
Yeah, and Bill's up there screaming. That's got to get you hype.
Yeah.
Well, he was behind me the first time I ever squatted there. And
wow.
So he was the one that let me know how much it actually was that first time I was there. So it was pretty dope.
It's like that energy surrounding you, just the hype takes over, and you're like, let's get.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I like black out. I didn't realize till I was almost locked out. I was like, there's a camera in my face. And so I was like, and I was like, I got to do something. And so, I just kind of sort of, the only person I saw was like Ryan Grimsland. And I was like, right there. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna look at Ryan the whole time I'm squatting. I'm like, oh, I got a camera in my face. And I was like, I can do something now.
Yeah.
We had Duncan on. He's been at SummerStrong before. He missed this year. But he's the one that told us, he's like, whenever I'm doing a lift, I kind of like lock in on somebody. And like just focus on them. It might look like he wants to kill him, but he's just trying to focus on his lift.
The first time I squatted at Sorinex was against Duncan.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, I really wanted him to be there. I know he lost a little bit of weight. He's looking a lot more. I get not healthier, but he's looking a lot leaner than what he used to.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang, I really wanted to be here. I wanted to squat with him, but he ain't gonna make it out for that.
I know. Hopefully you see him next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled off what, a 800-pound squat one year? Was that last year?
No, that was the.
I know he's talking to us about it.
Yeah, it was like maybe I remember like 2 years ago is what he did.
Okay.
And I think that's 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I've seen that video. It's insane. He said he tried for 900 and it was a little too much.
Yeah. See, every time I'm in there and I finish with my squats, like I didn't know I won. I walked outside because I'm like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, I don't want to pass out in front of people. I was like, I need room. I need space. So I went and laid out in front of those fans that are out there that like blow the mist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna relax for a second. I'm walking in. I'm like, oh yeah, there was a guy that went right after me. We had the exact same build. Everybody's like, Tank, you got a twin walking around. I'm like, what?
Was it the guy with the ponytail? Yeah.
And what's funny is I used to have a man bun too. So everybody's like, Tank, it looks like if you grew a mustache and you just had your man bun. And I'm like, what? And I saw him. I'm like, oh crap, okay. And there's a picture of us standing side by side. We're both holding onto our belts and everything. Like we didn't plan the picture, and it's awesome. And he's actually at Upstate as well. So he was in the Spartanburg area, which was kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And he was about, I think he's like 280, 285.
Okay.
So I'm only 230.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And
Okay.
so like for me, I was like, he didn't out squat me. They're like, no, he didn't even get out of the hole. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, so did I win? And they're like, you didn't know that? I'm like, I've been outside trying not to pass out. They're like, yeah. I'm like, but
I'm trying not to die out here. Like, I won? Hell yeah.
Yeah. How many SummerStrongs have you been to?
that was my second one. I've
Oh,
always been
okay.
trying to go to the other ones, and usually like there's a conflict of interest,
Yeah.
that goes on. But yeah, I was so hyped to be able to go to that one.
Yeah,
To me,
we've
it's just like
always wanted to. So
it's like a kid in a candy shop for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like to play with everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
All the workout equipment, and we always joke around. We were in that shop buying stuff, man, like constantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll grab a couple shirts. I come out, I find myself back in the shop. Like, it's dangerous.
see, I like well, you see, Corey Gregory was there at Max Effort, and that's like one of our big buddies. Anytime we go up there to the Arnold, me and Travis go to Max Effort and train there. And I was like, Corey, they let you in? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. And so I got a little bit of pre-workout from him, and I think that mixed with my double barrel salts, I was
Oh,
We got
yeah.
some right here.
quite happy. Yeah, that's exactly skull smash double barrel. I live and die by double barrel.
These ones right here, unfortunately, we didn't get to use them too much because I had got them. They were brand new. Maybe I used them like once or twice. And then when we were setting the podcast room up, I brought them in here just to kind of like, something to set on the table. And they've been sitting in here. So they're completely dead now. I got to order some new ones.
Yeah.
See, I love them. I'll keep them in like a room temperature, or like try and keep a room temperature, and they'll last me for like a year.
Yeah.
But like I'm sponsored by Skull Smash. I mean, anytime they're like,
Awesome.
Tank, what do you want? I'm like, double barrel.
Yeah, it gets that hype, man.
Yeah.
I've had the cold cock too, but double
had that
barrel is
one.
like my go-to.
Yeah. I've had cold cocked these two, the Valhalla one with like the little the little hammer on the side. So when you were getting ready for that squat, like I know like with the seminar, I was thinking this to myself, with the seminars and everything like that, like, I mean, were you thinking about that squat comp the whole time? Like, just trying to get yourself ready? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's like I can turn it on. Like it's not very hard for me. Like when I'm like even I train in an Amp Fitness down here. I'm a trainer there. I'll be sitting there on like Fridays we go heavy. It's like everybody at the gym, and me and my manager, he's one of the few guys that he doesn't squat as much as me, but he like goes pound for pound with me on deadlifts.
Yeah.
Pretty good bench. He has a good squat. It's just he does bodybuilding, so it's like that's not really his preference. And like the bar I won at the SummerStrong, like it still bends. I always say like 600 to 650 is like the magic number that every bar starts to bend. And so when I get 700 on there, I can't even get it out of the rack because it gets caught. And but it like every time, like I'll even see myself in the mirror because it'll be like a couple inches away from my face, and I'm like, I look like a completely different person. Like it's just like the second I get the wrist wraps on, the belt clips, and I smell the salts, it's like I turn into the Tank. It's not like I'm just, I'm like, it's a completely different person.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like nothing else matters. It's just you and that weight, and you're just locked in, blacking out.
It's just like with Dave Tate, he talks about the void, but it's like I'm always like I can't put myself in that mindset, and then somehow every time I put myself in the mindset, I'm like, okay.
He was just like locked in, just focused on that.
It's funny because like Olympic weightlifting, like if you walk in front of them and stuff, like it'll throw them off.
Yeah.
And so like for me in Olympic weightlifting, the way Travis trained us, like I always had like better stamina than most of the guys I was going against because I was usually going like almost every minute on the minute every time I trained. And so whenever I get in a comp, it was like, oh, I get time to relax in between reps.
Yeah.
And if there was anybody walking out in the crowd, they always like if I missed, I could never blame it on that because I was like, I don't even need a focal point. I just kind of sort of zone out and I go. And so it's perfect for powerlifting, really good for Olympic lifting, but a lot of the Olympic lifters, like if they catch anything, they
throws them off.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's so funny. I genuinely don't know why
it's a different mindset, I guess. I don't know.
Everybody has those little quirks and stuff, and it's like things they do to lock in. And I've lifted some heavy weights, nowhere near what you're putting up, but still, it's like I understand that feeling of just having to lock in and zone out, not think of anything else, and it's just you and the weight and whatever you got to do, like screaming, yelling, or I know some people are just quiet, they won't say anything.
Yeah. I'll give like a little yell after I smell the salts,
and
then after that, like I only celebrate like after I know I've actually hit the lift.
Yeah.
So like the whole time I'm doing the lift, I don't start yelling or anything until like I'm either at the top or I'm basically locked out. And like usually it's once I've re-racked and then I'll do my celebrations. And like a lot of times whenever Travis posts, they're like people will comment and they're like, wow, it's such discipline that he takes the time to rack the weight, then he celebrates. And I'm like, I just want to make sure I actually hit the lift. I don't want anything to mess it up.
I saw you do some crazy weight, like you were doing a block snatch. You had a PR. Was it a 275, which is crazy. I've never even lifted something like that, like kind of like a clean or a block snatch. That's just not how I train, but it's very impressive because I can't even imagine lifting 275 pounds like that.
Well, see, my favorite thing I ever had was doing my power jerks. So I didn't like split. To me, a lot of Olympic lifters would be like kind of controversial about it, but it's like for me, I like power jerks because it carries over the most from my squat, and I can do squat jerks. So all a squat jerk is a power jerk you're getting lower in. And so I was like, that makes the most sense. If squat's my best attribute, why not use that in my Olympic lifts? You can use it with split, obviously, but I just wanted to have less movement. Yeah. And so like I think I got to 405 or 415 on jerks. And then I did it with a clean too. I just never put them together. Like I got to one point I had snatched 135. I was cleaning 405 and jerking 405. And I just never got into a comp to where I put them all together. I just decided I was going to be powerlifting at some point.
Understanding now, like you were that strong at such a young age, and you got these Hercules genetics. It's like, does anybody in your family lift? Like, is there anywhere you could kind of see where that came down the trail?
Well, like my immediate family know, but I'm cousins with Tank Lunsford, one of the Mr. Olympias.
Yeah.
So like for me, like he chose, obviously just looking better. I chose like more the strength side. So like
being stronger.
And we have a couple of like other cousins. Some of them do a little bit of strongman, but like nobody's like really built the same way I am. Gotcha. Like part of it is that I just have such short femurs, so it makes squat that much easier.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's always been a funny thought. Like, where does this? Like, you just naturally super strong, and it's like, what is the science behind this? Like, why aren't we all? Like, I know. It just makes you super jealous, man. You're like, damn.
Well, Travis brought it up one point, and I don't know if we've found anything else out about it, but he was bringing out about like muscle fibers. And how if you look at the striations of a muscle fiber, the longer the striations are, usually don't quote me on it, but like I'm pretty sure the longer the striation, the more explosive someone is. Whereas the shorter, like that's where I'm able to grind. So we're pretty sure I just have shorter muscle striations in each muscle fiber. So then it makes it to where I can generate power over time instead of like immediately. So like a lot of really good deadlifters, I usually see them like they can generate a crap ton of force like right off the floor.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, as long as I can get it up and it keeps moving, it's going to keep going. Like I'm too stubborn to fail lifts is what I always tell Travis, but it's like that's how I have the ability to grind on bench press, squats, and deadlifts.
Yeah. Plus, with your football background, you said you played football and started out strength and conditioning, which I know that's a lot of explosive movements and generating that power, and taking that and applying that to Olympic lifting and powerlifting. Obviously, you're going to get a good result there.
Well, it just helped I had the really good base because like the coaches at Dorman, they really, they're really good at getting your bases set up, and so looking back at it, like it's especially some of the guys I coach now. It's like when they first come in, it's like, it's not that their form's horrible, but it's like major tweaks that shouldn't be that major. That it's like is it just these guys, or it's just some of the coaches that, they're overlooking it? Like, and I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I guess, my high school is just really, really good at coaching form. So
When you were like in seventh grade, is that like the first time you started lifting?
yeah, yeah.
So is that like when you fell in love with it?
No, I really fell in love with it in like ninth. So from seventh grade to eighth grade, we did more like, honestly, it was closer to like CrossFit than anything.
Mm-hmm.
We did a lot of kettlebells. We didn't really do like, we were going into eighth grade year. Like it was the summer from seventh grade to eighth grade when we started like squatting. But they did like, like sled pulls, box jumps, pull ups, like we a lot of band work. We didn't do too much like actual barbell stuff. Even though I had setups for it. We didn't do bench press. We didn't do any of that until you actually got to high school.
Oh wow.
But it was just so funny. They let us squat because we had been begging them to let us squat. And so I did that. And so I had to wait almost a whole other year before I even got to squat again. By the time I was in ninth grade, I was squatting. By the end of the year, I was squatting 485 of ninth grade year. So it was like going into the summer, going into, I guess, 10th grade year, going into my sophomore year, I had squatted 500. I think it was 505. I think I got that. And
wow.
From there, it was like I just kept on growing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID hit, so it was like I didn't ever get to try for the 600 at the state championship because it was like 2 days away, and they shut down all of South Carolina. And I was like, I was going to get a ring out of this, guys. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's wild, hearing these numbers. I'm thinking back to when I was in high school, and dude, I remember like a big squat for a kid was like, man, I hit 315. I'm like, damn, so to hear those numbers is, I can't even fathom that.
Well, to me, let's see, back whenever I first squatted the 721 or 727, I was 19 and I was in the 93 kilo weight class. And so, and looking back at it in high school, everything I was squatting, I was in like the 180 to 190, like pound. I can't remember what that is in kilos.
Yeah, it's like 180, 190 something.
Yeah. So like for me, I was like, okay, like looking back at it, they were actually pretty good numbers for like my body weight, considering everything. So
have you gone through any phases of like trying to like, I guess like once with your strength being that high, was it just kind of maintaining that style of training and maybe, adding a little bit of body weight? Like, was there any periods of time where you like did like a cut or, try to change things up a little bit?
So I'm really good at cutting, but it's just because usually like my body weight where I'm at, I just have more fat on me, or it's more water weight, or whatever everybody wants to contribute it to. But since I'm sitting in a higher weight class, it's a lot easier to cut. Whereas like if you get someone like Ryan Grimsland, he's really good at cutting, but he has like such little body fat to even deal with. Whenever he makes massive cuts, it blows my mind. But I've made it was a 7-kilo cut for the first time I ever won a university nationals. I literally had to cut my hair. My mom went and bought scissors. It was my junior year at Little Orion. And I told her, I was like, hey, I need you to go get scissors at like Dollar General. Went over there, and she literally cut my hair. Somebody has a video of it somewhere. It's one of the media guys, and they're like, yeah, you cutting your hair? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, because I'm going to win. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And then I went and won nationals, and that was how I got to my first 2 Team USAs.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing, dude. Congrats.
Those, so, yeah.
That's amazing. I wanted to ask you about you have a Tank Strength here. You do coaching, right? For powerlifting and Olympic lifting. I wanted to talk to you about that. Like, when did that get started, and what are you doing with that now?
So originally it was called Tank Tactical. Okay. I thought I was trying to go off of how like Mash Elite I just thought it sounded more like official. And then I came to learn that like there was another company that was called Tank Tactical that they did like bulletproof vests and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, they already have that. And I was like, okay, we're going to call it Tank Tactical Training and Programming.
Mm-hmm.
And then people just thought I was just training like military and stuff.
Yeah,
and they thought that
tactics.
was what I was going to do. And I was like, I guess that makes sense being Tank Tactical.
Yeah.
And so like literally like 2 or 3 months ago, I rebranded it to Tank Strength. That's done a little bit better. I don't know why I didn't think about that in the first place. It sounds just a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love coaching. I love coaching in general.
Yeah, plus with all your experience, it seems like you got a lot of good knowledge and, helping people develop and, teaching them. I mean, obviously you got the credibility for it, so.
Yeah. Well, and for most of it, I was also helping with MASH Elite powerlifting. So it was like, that was like a whole other area of expertise. So like, I literally helped coach with MASH Elite. And so for me, it was like, I didn't get an exercise science degree at Lenore Ryan. I got a sports management. It was basically because I tried entrepreneurship first and I liked it, but they were like, yeah, you need to do like exercise science. And, if you want to open a gym one day, you need to just have that knowledge. I'm like, okay. And they're like, no, it's going to add 2 extra years. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'll still try it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, guys, I did okay. And it was like, I felt like 2 classes. And it was like just electives that were with it. But they were like, no, you're still going to take 2 years to graduate, like 2 extra years. I was like, okay. I'm like, what should I do? They go, just do sports management and get a minor in coaching. I said, okay. Well, I was a credit away from already having the coaching minor. And then sports management was, just business mixed with exercise science classes. So, I mean, for me, it was like best of both worlds.
Is that something you want to do one day, open a gym?
I do. I mean, like, not in the near future, let that build up a little bit, build the Tank Strength brand. Yeah. I want to figure out like where I actually want to do it at. Yeah. But I want it to be, the idea is for it to be like an Olympic like a strength sports gym. Mm-hmm. So like somewhere you can have powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, strongman, CrossFit, bodybuilders, everybody up under like the same roof.
Yeah.
And everybody can train like.
Just like different sections, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's an awesome idea. We've talked about it, and we've had quite a few gym owners on the podcast now, and that's something we want to do one day is open a gym, and talking to them, hearing the process. There's a lot that goes into it, some stuff you wouldn't even expect, man.
That's why I want to do it later on down the road if I can, because it's just like, and also like the financial stresses. It's like all it takes is for you to get like the location wrong, or timing up at the wrong, or again, this would be with location, but like if you go, okay, it's gonna be really busy in the summer, and the winter comes around and nobody's there, it's like, okay, you have a dead zone. It's like,
we've talked to a gym owner that is pretty local to us, and he was expressing how when he was first opening up the gym, just, oh my God, some of the problems he was having that he wasn't even expecting, like water pipes breaking, like some of the walls in the bathroom, like he would go and put his foot up on it and his foot would go right through.
Really?
And the lighting and everything. And it's like, you got to worry about that on top of the equipment. And he was telling us how he's got a personal welder to where he will fix up his own equipment and tweak some things. And like, man, I would have never thought about all that.
And paper towel.
Yeah.
He said paper towel is really expensive to keep up with.
Well, I could figure that.
Just a lot of those small things that pop up. But yeah, that's been something, a goal of ours too, is opening up a gym. And, I'm not too familiar with what all they have down in South Carolina, but I know in our area, our local area, we're definitely in need of some facilities like how you were saying, just having a mix of all of it.
Well, my thing is that like most places, like, not even like most major cities, just like most cities in general. Like if there's a CrossFit gym, it's like that's where people have to train because it's the closest thing. Like, there a lot of or like box gyms and like commercial gyms, they don't want you slamming the weights, like no chalk, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I have a gym, but chalk should be everywhere. I'm like, I want to have a chalk problem. Like,
like dude, that chalkless stuff at Sorinex was amazing. That just reminded me.
They sent me a whole lifetime supply for winning the squat competition.
That's awesome. I
like it. It to me, it's funny because like the containers, whenever they send it, it's almost like the container's lighter because that stuff's in it. I genuinely can't. I'm like, I don't understand how that works.
Talking about the gym stuff too, around us, we have a lot of commercial gyms. Your Crunches, your Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, all that, and it's seeing facilities like we were talking about, you know, having the powerlifting, the Olympic lifting, strongman, bodybuilding. It's so hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like it also doesn't help that a lot of those, like the cultures don't really collide very well. Like Olympic
Absolutely.
weightlifting, as much as I love it, it was like everyone wants to gatekeep from each other. The coaches want to. It's like in powerlifting, if I'm in the back room with you and you ask me how's your bench press getting like this, I'm going to tell you. I want competition. I
Yeah.
want everyone in the sport to be either as good as me or better. Like I want the sport to progress. Like Olympic weightlifting, it's like, well, if your guys are better than me, I'm out of a job. Or
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
this. It's like in powerlifting, even like Coach Vin Kenmore, Ken Vin, no Vin Kenmore, yeah. He's coached so many Team USA athletes for powerlifting. You can ask him. You could probably shoot him a DM or an email right now, and like 9 times out of 10, like Ed Cohen, Ed will
Yeah.
sit there and like if you send him an email or a DM or something, usually he'll answer it. Like Travis does his like sports science questions like every
Oh
Wednesday
wow.
or Thursday, and it's like you can type in there and ask him, and he'll go live for like 30 minutes to an hour, usually like around 5 or 6 o'clock on the Mash Elite like Instagram, and it's
Yeah.
like people can just ask them questions. They don't care, like they
Yeah.
want people to do better, but it's
That
like it's just
that's
funny.
That's great though. Like I think more people need to be like that too, is to be open to
Mm-hmm.
their community and like their fans because people look up to these guys and they expect to learn some things from it. So it's awesome when they
Yeah.
give back. Especially like for us, that's why we like talking to people and especially the people that do respond because it's just I think it's important.
And I wouldn't be anywhere like with bench press. My bench press, whenever I was at like 385, I'd been in like a plateau for quite a while.
Hmm.
Travis took me up there. I met Jason Coker.
Oh
Okay.
wow,
Jason taught me how to bench press. Like
that's
I
awesome.
had a base down. He
Mhm.
taught me the bar path I needed. He taught me the secret to a leg drive, which is usually, have your feet flat, then just pick up your big toe. Forces you to nail on the ground.
Oh
People
okay.
don't think about that, but it's just flexing the quads. And then if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the whole leg, and it'll sit there, and as long as you time that up right, whenever you're going up, that's your leg drive. But people
Yeah.
don't think about stuff like that. And
Mm-mm.
like the
Yeah.
bar path needs to be more like an arch, not straight up and back, not
Yeah. More like
straight
a
up.
like a U
Exactly. And like
almost.
some
Yeah.
people don't know that. And like if you tuck your elbows, it'll naturally do the movement for you.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like it's things like that, unless you go talk to some of the best benchers in the world, you're not going to know some of these secrets. And it's not that they're keeping them as secrets. It's just people just don't ask them.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
worried they're just not going to tell them something. It's like when Olivia Reeves and Hampton Morris did so well at the Olympics, the first coach to ask their coaches any questions was Travis. And like
Oh
Travis's
wow.
thing is like, what are you doing that's making you guys better than my guys? And like that's the way every coach should look at it. Not be,
Hmm.
oh, I'm mad at you because your guys beat my guys out. It's like, what are you doing differently? And
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's Travis. That's his philosophy behind things. He asks the questions. Like he wants to be right, but he's like, if you're wrong, don't be afraid to admit you're wrong and actually find the actual reason behind like what you're trying to find.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
like whenever he explained that to me, like coming straight from a strength and conditioning background into Olympic lifting, he taught me to ask questions, not follow things blindly like a robot. Like he had us do a 10 by 10 on squats. And after that, he's like, you need to start asking questions on why I have you do things. And I was like, why? He's like, because you don't even know why you're doing some of this stuff. He's like,
Hmm.
some of it I
Yeah.
could give it to you and it's not helpful at all. But if you ask a question and someone can actually give you an answer behind why, he's like, then usually there's a real reason behind why they want you to do it. He's like, there's a lot of coaches out there. They'll write it down because that's what their coach wrote down, the coach before them. It's like that's what they've seen online. And they couldn't, like a lot of people that with the CSCS, they could regurgitate exactly what they've read and studied, or a USA weightlifting level 1 course. They cannot actually describe it. Like they can't tell you why.
I understand that too because it has to be important to understand even why you're doing it. Like you need to
Mm-hmm.
understand it to see like, okay, what is this benefiting? Why is this many sets better than this many sets? Like it's just better to understand that so you can improve.
Well, I got to the point where I was in powerlifting and even like Olympic weightlifting. Even though I didn't get to like, I was the highest I ever got at an Olympic comp was I think fifth, and that was it as a junior. And then in universities it was either fifth or seventh. And so like I didn't really get to a high enough place in that to really comprehend what I was doing. And now coaching, it's really fun to be able to teach all my Olympic athletes because I'm like, even though I wasn't amazing at this, I know how to coach it and like explain it to you
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and work you through it. And I like the same way that Travis did, like I train people well enough so then they could go and train somebody else. I don't want
Yeah.
someone to be
Yeah.
self-reliant just on me. I want them to be like, if you had to leave me right now and go to a whole different state,
Mm-hmm.
you still know what to do. You know how to train.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I don't want robots as athletes. I want
Mm-hmm.
like people that can comprehend it. Like Travis at Lenore Ryan, every time it was, I'm going to train you guys. My team captains can train the younger guys, and then I can work with them on form until they get good enough. Then they'll get my full attention. It's like you kind of started to work your way to getting Travis's attention. But I mean, that's fair. You don't want to waste an entire day when you have 23 different athletes in the room with you and everybody needs your help. It's
Yeah.
like, and so that's like key things, Travis. Yeah.
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 Even now, it's like he'll send me a text. He's like, "Hey, this is something new that came out. You know,
Yeah.
like a tempo squat or just tempos in general. They came out with a study, I think a year and a half ago, and it was like it turns out tempos don't do anything more than like a normal squat does.
Really.
Really?
Except, yeah, it's like all these like strength coaches that are like, yeah, we love tempo squats. The only thing it teaches differently is like what the movement is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So it's like if you just don't comprehend the movement, having them do a tempo, they have to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing too, it just really expresses the importance of, I mean, not just in lifting, but anything you do in life, the importance of putting that ego aside.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that sometimes you don't know all the information, and there's millions of
Exactly.
people out there that they're gonna know something that can help you, and you have to realize that and understand that and be willing to take this information and apply it to your own training. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people get caught up and, they're like, well, this is how I've always done it, so I'm going to continue to do it this way.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Like somebody out there is going to be stronger than you. Somebody's going to be bigger than you. They're going to have some type of little technique or trick that they've utilized that has helped them, and it might help you. And it might make a huge difference in your training, but you got to be willing to listen.
And I think it's important to understand it, right? Because like just so they don't have to always rely on their coach. I was actually just talking to somebody about this today, and that to rely on your coach so you can actually understand and do it for your own benefit on your own time, so you don't always need somebody.
Well, like Joe Kenny trains Brian Shaw. It's like Joe's like, I give him the program. He can choose to even go off program. He's like, it's specialized to him. He's like, he doesn't have that much stuff to do.
Mm.
He's like, because, first of all, he understands what he's doing. He's like, he's been trained well enough. It's like, that's how I want all my athletes to be eventually. Like, that's what I like is the aspect. But I'm actually training people that they're actually going to do something. Like, I hate whenever coaches just send out like a cookie cutter program. Like, you're going to talk to them on like a video chat for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, like once a
Yeah.
week. They're going to break down your form. You're going to pay them $150, $200. When you can go in person, like for a lot of my high school athletes, it's free for them
Oh wow.
because I would rather them learn good form from me and get good programming. And again, I'm in Florida now. It's
Oh
like
okay.
there's Florida weightlifting, so that's a lot more fun for me because I can find an Olympic lifter. I came down here 4 weeks ago, found one Olympic lifter. Now I'm up to 23 lifters.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yes, and it almost felt like it was overnight. Like the people I were training today, it was just crazy for me. I was like, it's like 70-30 split. Like 70% is Olympic,
Hmm.
30% is powerlifting, and like powerlifting is really easy for me to train. It is not hard at all. I can get everything down pat. And Olympic lifting, just because it's such more technique based, it's like that takes a little bit longer. But I like it. It's almost like figuring out a puzzle with every different person. Nobody's technique is going to be the same. There's no universal form that everybody has to follow. And it's like the biggest thing that I also learned from Travis when coaching people was like, don't adopt it's my way or the highway. That's because there's multiple. It's just like multiple ways to skin a cat. Like coaching, you guys could come up with something way different from me, and we could still get an athlete from point A to point B, same exact way. And it's like that's what I like about it. It's like, okay, let's see if this works. This didn't work. See if it was this. And like 9 times out of 10, whenever you look at it, at an Olympic athlete, I would argue that a lot of times it's strength that limits them. Not even like, yes, form is very, very important, but a lot of times like you can get their form perfect. But if their strength isn't there, it's still a strength sport. I feel like some coaches forget that. So like if I make my guys as strong as I can, Travis almost adopted the dynamic method with Westside Barbell and brought it into Olympic weightlifting. And so from that, like roughly, that's how I train my athletes. It's like Travis got it from Louis. I got it from Travis. And like, I hope one of my athletes one day, gets it from me and like synthesizes it down. And like, eventually it's just like, this pure, like, clear trail.
Yeah.
But it's, training heavy. I always say Travis can train miracles because whenever you train heavy, whenever you go out there on a platform, if you're used to training heavy and you go to compete, you have to pull a crazy PR attempt out of your ass, you have the ability to do it. Whereas some of these guys, they train too much consistency, you might only ever be able to hit your PR in a comp. Yeah. But if I got to go, 5 kilos over my PR for an Olympic lift, I've never even touched before, never even attempted it. I have that ability in me. For them, they're like, I'm only ever used to pulling this. Travis trains heavy often. Same way my guys train.
What's been a big challenge you faced with, coaching?
I would probably say, well, for the first part, just transferring into going back to Olympic lifting. Because for me, like my form, even after not competing in Olympic lifting for like basically 2 years, because I did a whole time where I did not train it for a whole year, went into a comp, qualified, went to the Arnold, didn't train it since I had done that comp, just to like kind of sort of prove, strength is more of like the requirement in Olympic lifting. That like, yes, form's important. Again, you don't want to have horrible form, but if you're strong, your baseline strength is going to get you a lot farther.
Yeah.
And with it's almost like a full circle for me, because some of my athletes are just as stubborn as I was whenever I first started out. You think you know everything, and just whenever you think you know everything, that's when life likes to put you on your ass, and that's when you're all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to reevaluate.
You get humbled.
Bumping into like my younger self is what it feels like oftentimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like I know you're also helping a team out, Carson Newman in Tennessee. You're helping them compete.
So Jeff Boschman is the head coach. He's also the head strength conditioning there. One of my buddies, Trey Luttrell, he was a quarterback for them. He was also one of my teammates at Lenore Ryan. He's like, hey, they're looking to start a powerlifting team. I said, okay, well, give me his number and stuff. Anyway, we started talking. We got a couple sponsorships. They're going to be sponsored by SBD, Skull Smash as well.
Wow.
Everybody I meet, I try and put them on with Skull Smash. I can't,
Hey, they're great, bro.
You got a discount code?
Yeah, discount code Tank.
All right.
All right, I'll be using that after this.
Anyway, he was like, yeah, I want to start a powerlifting team. And I was like, okay, I know a couple Team USA guys. They're graduating. And because you have till 25 for universities, I'm like, you get 2 years with us for masters. And so we're just building this elite team up there. I'm going to compete up there. I'm going to go there for my masters. He has some amazing guys up there. It's just as much as what Travis built at Lenore Ryan, it feels like that and almost better at Carson Newman. The head coach, so Jeff, his mentor was the same guy that introduced Louis Simmons to bands.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
And so he literally has a written note of Louis thanking his mentor, hung up in the strength and conditioning room. So it's like,
wow.
Anyone that wants to go there, they're in like good hands for powerlifting. And they've seen how many Olympic athletes I have, and they're like, oh, maybe we'll start an Olympic team at some point. I'm like, let's get the power team going first, and then I fully expect them to be the best powerlifting team in the nation for college. Like there's some big dogs right now. There's people like Midland, Ottawa, but it's like they're ones that have been heavy hitters. These guys are getting everything they need for heavy hitting. It's like they have all the equipment. They just got a brand new weight room from Sorinex, so it's like
wow.
everything is like coming together.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
They're sponsored by Notorious Lifts too, so it's like
Wow.
all the equipment you'll get for like even just going there is enough to like, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't have enough equipment, it's like, well, you know, be a good lifter, show up to Carson Newman, and you know, let history write the rest.
Yeah. Sorinex, you know, they provide all this equipment for these schools, and that's amazing, and such a luxury for these guys to get to use it.
MLB teams too.
There's a school down here. It's called IMG Academy, and like I think they have like 50 to like 100. I don't know how many racks they have. It looks like a sea of just Sorinex racks.
Oh man!
And I'm gonna go tour there tomorrow. So hopefully, you know, they'll let me, you know, play with the weights a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it's always exciting. We always talk about it all the time. Going to new gyms and testing out the equipment, and it's like a kid in a candy store.
I like places that are like honestly closer to West Side. Like I like the newer equipment. I love it.
Yeah.
But I also like old school like
hardcore style.
Hardcore gyms. And that's like one of the gym like outside of West Side, the only other one I know that's like that is Max Effort. Corey Gregory. He's the one that does Muscle Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so they're literally West Side certified.
Oh.
So
wow.
like there's this plaque hanging up in there, and it's an old tobacco barn. And I just love it, dude. He trains at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I don't mind getting up that early in the morning if I can go there and max out every time. I love it, dude. It's perfect.
Where's that at?
It's in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
Ohio's got all the damn
It does,
gyms.
yeah.
Dude, we're in
We always
Michigan.
talk about that.
Yeah, we say it on like almost every episode, but literally it's an hour drive from where we are, and it's like a night and day difference with the type of gyms down there. And I don't understand why we don't have them up here. But we go down there quite a bit and try them out, and they're awesome.
Well, Corey Gregory and Max Effort, y'all need to try going in. I love it so much, dude.
We'll put that on the list.
Yeah, for sure.
It's perfect.
Even recovery aspect. A lot of the gyms have like whole recovery centers. I went to one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, but super nice gym. It was kind of like they had a little bit of that like powerlifting, bodybuilding mix where it's like, you know, they had the deadlift platforms, the racks, and then behind was like all the machines and dumbbells. And they had like a whole recovery center where you could get like, you know, the IVs for hydration. They had freeze, you know, the freeze sleeves and everything like that, massage chairs. I'm like, holy shit.
There's a place in somewhere, I think it's in Asheville, North Carolina. I think it's called Strength and Body. It looks like Max Effort, but in all blue. And it's like they have an enormous recovery room in the back. They have posing rooms. They have monoliths. A huge turf, like they have so many recovery rooms, and I remember I went there once, used them on. I felt like a baby in like a candy shop. I loved it. Travis and I went there. We just found a random gym, and I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, have I found heaven? This is perfect. They had deadlift platforms, like competition style bench presses. I was like, and I only went there once, and I was like. Little brief, you know.
We went to one and we took a trip down to the Keys in Florida last year, and we went to one of the smaller gym, and you know, Rogue equipment, like good clean setup. And then this was the first gym I've been to like this. They had a back room with a sauna and then two of the like the white cold tubs in that room. That's like first time we got to try that, going from the sauna to the cold tub, and right after our workout, I was like, man, like we need something like this.
See, Strength and Body, they had a normal dry sauna, and I think they had an infrared sauna, and then they had the cold tub. So it was like, and this is like right whenever I was learning about like infrared stuff, and I was like, no way. I was so lit. They had stim machines set up. You could buy like I don't know if you could buy peptides there. I don't know what it was, but they had this like counter. You could like, I didn't know what any of this stuff was. I was like, I'm not gonna try and buy any of that. I was like, I'm pretty sure anything up under this case is gonna get me popped. I was like, Travis, what is it? All this stuff. He starts reading it off to me like crazy. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Obviously, with so many years of lifting heavy and, you know, just being well invested in the powerlifting and strength training, how's your recovery aspect? Like, do you do like massages? You do any type of body work, anything like that? And that brings me to ask this because we just had a lady on that specializes in body work and was expressing the importance of it with, you know, like bodybuilders and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love recovery. I always tell my athletes, I'm like, there's three things I look for, like after you've trained. There's sleep, nutrition, and then like recovery. And technically you can tie all that into recovery, but like I really like hot and cold therapy. It's like I like saunas, there's a cryo, like the place I'm at now is an amp gym. They sponsor Derek. And so they have a cryo bed, they have like water hydro beds, which is like getting pressure washed in the back, but it feels amazing. Um, They have compression boots, saunas. Like they have a lot of. The only thing they're missing is like a actual like cold plunge. But then whenever I come home, I have scrapers, rollers, red light therapy, like what do you call them? Heat and packets. I have like the bath salts that like you can put in there for recovery. They have all the like different smells, the Epsom salts. Um, Cupping, stem, like if there's a form of recovery that like has any sort of like benefit whatsoever, there's the Revomatic or whatever. It's a little cupping machine and it'll sit there and like it almost does pulsing. It's almost like having a stem machine and like a cupping set all in one. You just put it on there and it'll just sit there and keep on sucking and stuff.
Yeah.
So like it goes on, it pulses. It's like I'll put that on my traps or my lats and it'll like, especially my lower back. That's what'll get so like it'll almost come off like, and my lower back looks like black.
Wow.
And like there's been people that come out like saying that, you know, cupping doesn't really do all that much. It just increases like the blood flow in the area. You can they say you can do the same thing with like giving blood.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's honestly a little bit easier to just do cupping if you have your own cupping set. And it doesn't cost that much on Amazon. And so I'll just do cupping, and you know, if my back's crazy sore, do it up my back, my lats, get my traps, my delts. Just takes like, you know, 30 minutes to an hour for me to do everything. And like I love recovery. But I tell all my athletes, back to the three things I look at, like if you have to trade anything, don't trade your sleep off. And then that, like, if you have to pick two of the three, like that's what I like to hear athletes like tell me. Are you going to pick nutrition or recovery? And that tells me, like, for me, nutrition can get traded off in a couple different ways. Like you can eat dirty and you'd still be fine. I like clean eating. It nothing against it, but I'm going to go with my recovery and my sleep. Not time everything. And even though, like, you know, nutrition will get you so far and you'll feel better too. Like I want my body like physically feeling ready. They're like, know that, okay, this muscle's fine. Like go and get scraped and stuff like that. Massages, dry needling. I want to know I'm as recovered as possible. If I'm going to go again, like my goal is, you know, at some point I want to try it, you know, obviously not this year, but I want to work up to be able to squat 1,000 raw.
Damn.
Dude.
It's like that's my end goal, and then after that, you know, whatever happens. But that's what I want to hit is 1,000 raw.
You hitting 700 at Sorinex was like, dude, this guy, he's going. He can get more than this, I think.
And I like all three things: nutrition, recovery, and sleep. But you know, I wait to hear what they think is most important, and a lot of times they're like, "Oh no, y'all don't have to worry about recovery." I'm like, you need to worry about recovery, especially if we're going to go heavy with volume or just a lot of volume earlier in the week. If I'm doing a 4-day split, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, and then you get your weekend off. Or if it's Olympic, usually it's 5 times a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. So then you have max out Friday, and then you train Saturday. And I'm like, guys, on your days off, that's when I want you to recover the hardest. That's when you have to do hot cold. Usually you don't want to do hot cold like if you're gonna train that day. So like on a Wednesday, if we're talking about the Olympic split, Wednesday is when you want to do your hot cold, have a whole day in between, then you go and do your actual lifts. You don't want to do it that often.
Yeah, when we did the cold plunge and the sauna when we were in Florida, man, we felt like the best we've ever felt after that, man. Like I said, that was the first time we've done that like back to back, and I wish I could do it again.
Yeah, it made a difference for sure.
Big difference.
See, Travis got all of us on the Olympic team. He got us all, set on that, and we loved it. We literally, after every workout, we'd go and do like sauna for like anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. And then on our days off, that's when we would do the sauna and we'd do the cold plunge, sauna and cold plunge. Like we'd go back and forth. And like after, you almost feel like a sense of peace in your body. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, oh my gosh, I feel relaxed for once.
You feel
That's
calm.
why you got to do it on a recovery day.
We were like, dude, I feel like I'm so calm. Like I was just in the car. I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
The naps I would take after it were amazing. I'd never sleep harder.
Yeah, for sure. I remember leaving there and I'm like, I feel chilled out.
Is that red light therapy? It's a little different. It's not like a sauna, right? I'm a little new on that.
With them. So red light has to do with like the radiation. Mm-hmm. So, you can find some of them on like Amazon, and it'll be like literally just a flashlight that you can hold over like one part.
Oh, okay.
Or you can do like a red light. It's more like red light radiation is what it should be called. Yeah. Instead of just therapy. And I'm sure there's some places that they actually like just call it that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a place over here that does it, so
it's good. I haven't been told like there's using too much of it, but again, there's always too much of a good thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but if you do it for recovery, it's it's kind of sort of, I think it's another one of those things that they haven't really found any negative side effects really. Mm-hmm. Kind of sort of like creatine. Yeah. It's like there's not really, I'm sure like, in a couple of years they'll be like, oh yeah, you got to stop taking this,
they're always coming out with new studies.
I think with creatine it's like just, like too much of anything is bad,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if
you I like to cycle off of creatine.
Oh, really?
So like I'll take it during my training, and then whenever I get up like closer to cut, someone might argue against it. I don't do it for the cutting or anything. I don't think I'm losing any weight from it. Some people feel bloated from it, but I'll be taking, I'll take like a men's multivitamin, creatine, and like pre-workout. That's the only like supplements I'll be taking. Mm-hmm. And then the closer I get to comp, I'll cut everything out. Really? So then whenever I go to comp, one, my pre-workout's actually going to work. It's actually going to kick. Two, like for whatever reason, whenever I stop taking like all my other supplements, I just feel better whenever I go to lift. And then, it could be that, I'm not deficient in that many things, or, I don't really need, the body also naturally creates creatine. Mm-hmm. I think it's more than whatever, like 5 milligrams or whatever. Like if you take more than however much it explains on there, your body's just going to waste it. It's just going to pee it out. Yeah. So it's like, and so I'll buy something that's like 60 servings and it'll last me like a year. For however many times I like cycle off of it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start taking it again. It's like really whenever I'm in my off season, I'm doing 5x8s, 5x5s. That's when I want to take it. When I actually want stuff to grow and I want to see a result. But I mean, that's just like something I do. It might not be, the key to muscle growth or anything, but it's like it's what I do, and for whatever reason, it feels like it works. So as long as it feels like it works, I'll keep on doing it. So.
That's like what we were talking about too, just how everybody, does something different. Mm-hmm. There's always different things. Maybe doing that would benefit somebody else. I mean, you have no idea. The human body, like you don't know how you're going to react to that. Mm-hmm. It could be similar. Somebody might have some bad effects. Somebody might, benefit. just like yourself.
That's like my favorite thing though. With like my athletes and like other people, I like to see what's working because the same deadlift form for me isn't going to be good for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't physically get into a sumo deadlift. I did them early on whenever I competed with the USAPL, and my hip sockets physically don't let me get in a good enough position for good sumo.
I struggle
Travis
with
is
it
the
too.
same way. Now I can do frog stance like how Ed Cohen used to do it, but I just don't train it long enough for it to truly be effective. So I just stay with conventional because it carries over the squat so much more. Again, if it carries over like my best attribute, why would I not do it?
I'm just asking this because I've had the issue. I kind of hurt my back before on a deadlift. Is there any like recovery things to make it? Have you ever like dealt with that, like lower back issues from squatting or deadlifting the amount of weight you have?
There's at one point I was deadlifting. It was either 622 for 3 or 5. I cannot remember what it was. I'd gotten up there, and I was like, okay, I was getting really prepped. I was like, I'm, literally in the perfect motion or perfect direction to be getting close to a 700-pound deadlift. And it was like I herniated a disc, or I did something in my lower back that like I felt it for like a month. So it's not like I just pulled a muscle. And so for me, like the red light heating pad therapy, that helped out a lot. And one thing that Travis always told me is like, if something is bulged, keep on doing the heat, keep on doing the therapy. And he's like, once you can actually rotate again, he's like, that sometimes doing that will make things like pop back in. And he's like, sometimes, and my biggest thing is like either using the back attack or reverse hyper to keep the back crazy strong. It's usually how I prevent getting back injuries.
Yeah.
So it always, without fail, whenever I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take a week or two off from like really training back. It's like that's when I get hurt. I'm like, okay, I knew this was coming. It was just it's a matter of time. I was like, that's on me.
Yeah, that was like my issue is I took a while from deadlifts and I came back to Michigan because I moved away for a little bit and I hit a deadlift and I kind of just messed up my lower back. And honestly, it's been kind of hurting for over a year now. So I've been dealing with it a little bit, but it's like a off and on thing. But I do deadlift again. Sometimes I was like nervous to do it. Then I did physical therapy and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's not like life changing. It's just gotta watch it.
My biggest thing is like with my athletes, like to really help prevent back injuries, it's like the correct way to brace. It's like a lot of coaches will say brace 360, and like you can say that, but if someone doesn't actually like, again, going along with like your athletes should be able to comprehend what you're trying to tell them. If I tell you brace 360, I don't tell any of my athletes that. Usually mine's like big breath because that's the first thing we're going to learn. But the first thing is like brace your stomach like you're going to get sucker punched. Brace your back like you're going to get whipped in the back with a band or someone's going to come and smack you in the back with a PVC pipe. When you brace both of those, get your deep breath and then brace both of those at the same time. And some people like they only think about bracing like the core and they're just talking about the front, but the core is everything. So like a squat, if I'm ever like something feels off, I'm like, I'm not bracing my back. And so the first thing I teach most of my athletes, like unless they've just been doing it for forever and it's clear that they are bracing, I'll be like, all right, do you know how to brace? No, we're gonna work on this now. Because I feel like there's some things that like people just forget that oh, that's not a given. You don't know how to do your breath work. Oh, okay, well. You almost got to treat everybody like you're going from step one. And, I'm worried like sometimes it feels like you're insulting them because you're like, I just need to make sure you know how to do this. I'm not saying you don't, but safety wise, it's very important.
Just getting those basics, perfected and working off of that, making sure that everything, the basics like bracing, breathing, everything, make sure that's locked in, and then we work up from there.
Bill Gillespie's asked Travis a few times. He's like, Trav, how's all your athletes? He's like, every time I spot them, they have the strongest core anybody I've ever felt. And Travis like, I don't know. He's like, I guess they actually know how to brace. and they're actually doing the training I give them. He's like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And he's like,
fair enough.
Well, Tank, thanks so much for coming on. Before you leave, I just want to give you the opportunity to say anything you want, any words of wisdom before you head out.
Just my saying, when in doubt, squat the house.
Yeah. There you go, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Great conversation with Tank Lunsford. Super knowledgeable guy. Seems like a great coach. Even hitting those crazy numbers like on squat and those Olympic lifts. And him being sponsored by Skull Smashers. It's pretty insane.
It's pretty cool. We got some sitting right here.
Yeah.
We're going to use that discount code Tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, good conversation. It's crazy to hear how much weight he was putting up when he was in middle school, going into high school, squatting crazy weight, starting out in 7th grade.
Yeah. Even seeing him at SummerStrong now, hitting 700 pounds, that was like a crazy experience, even for us to see that in person. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show, Tank. All right. I'm going to try this double barrel just in honor of Tank.
I think it's dead,
man. This one works sometimes. You know it does. A little bit.
No, I don't know.
Well, anyways, yeah. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.